outbound sales as opposed to inbound calls coming in. There's two ways to get inbound deals. It's organic content marketing like I do, or paid video advertising. You can still do paid text advertising, but paid video advertising converts a lot better. Problem is, most guys who are trying to level up to start a business or trying to level up their business, you might not have the marketing money to pay to be able to get enough leads for you to do six figures or to take your business from six figures and above. Maybe you don't have the right formula. Maybe you don't have the right marketing team. Maybe you don't have the right, enough money coming in right now. And maybe you do have money coming in, but your priority is more to stack that up in your savings account. Because you maybe had some school debts or whatever. You're trying to save $100,000. You're trying to save $200,000. And the organic content marketing, in most cases, is going to take, a year to pay off, sometimes 2 years, depending on how often you're doing it and how good you are. I didn't monetize my website for 3 years in. I wrote articles from 2012 to 2015 before I even released a product. And I wasn't doing coaching. I just wanted to get my structure on my ideas, build a brand. I was in it for life anyways. And I was working a sales job during that time, doing outbound cold calling, making money from that. Outbound cold calling is what initially bought me my freedom. It gave me my seed capital to be able to save that, work on my business on the side, eventually move away from Canada with savings, with a viable business. And I owe a lot of that to cold calling, which I never liked. Most people don't like it, but when it's linked to your highest value, you'll find that it's something that you can be inspired to do. And it's so much easier on your own business, by the way, because the scariest thing in sales is like the targets from your managers, when that's just pressing down on your neck all the time. When you don't have to upload every single lead into a CRM and you don't have a manager breathing down your neck, you can bang out those 100 cold calls from 9 till noon, spend the afternoon doing some, pretty easy lead gen, and, still generate a good amount of money with like 6 hours of work a day. You don't have to be going super crazy. Now, of course, the more output you put out, the more the better you're gonna do. So ultimately, this is for guys who either don't have the money for inbound, are doing content marketing, organic content marketing, but are waiting for it to pay off. Okay, or you're doing both of those. They are paying off, but you want to add outbound methods as well, because it's free, either by yourself or hiring sales guys, expanding your sales team or whatever. And now 2019, cold calling is still the most effective way to close those outbound B2B deals. I'm not saying B2C, okay? B2C is a different animal. If you're selling real estate, anybody's a potential client. You can be hitting up people in Starbucks, you can be hitting up people wherever you go. And cold calling is still effective for real estate, but it might not be the most effective way. There's guys like Brian Casella, Patrick Bet-David, who will tell you, you're selling the big three: financial services, real estate, insurance. It's door to door. And that might be true because the deals are so high ticket that you really only want to be dealing with, upper middle class to wealthy people. And if you can get yourself into, walk into a condo building with, wealthy condo building and knock on doors and not get thrown out, and, walk into nice neighborhoods where you've got 300, 400 doors of wealthy people, you've got a lot of potential clients that you're not going to be able to find just using the phone book. Because let's be honest, if you're cold calling B2C and you're cold calling the phone book, yes, phone books still exist. You're getting people that are home during the day, which a lot of the time, they might not have the money for the high ticket real estate transactions. Obviously, you'd prefer to have an inbound method if you could only choose the two. But if you don't have the money, cold calling might not be the most effective way for B2C. It might be door to door. It might be, the footpaths in wealthy areas, although that's significantly more painful. But for B2B, the reason cold calling is more effective than, say, showing up in, let's say you're trying to pitch doctors something. How many meetings can you do per day? Knocking on doors, knocking on doctors' offices, waiting for the doctor. He's in a meeting. He's with a client. He's going to be busy most of the day. So you might be sitting there for an hour and a half before you can get in to see the guy. You might only have time for 6 or 10. Whereas cold calling, you can bang out 100, 200, 300 calls a day, get 30, 15, 20, 30 pitches off, either closing on the phone or booking an in-person close. So you can triple, quadruple the amount of people that you can reach and the speed at which you can do it. And that's, if you're not even doing like crazy numbers. By crazy, I mean like 300 and above. But like just 100 cold calls is going to triple the effectiveness of like running around to a bunch of these clinics. Just because of speed. It's also significantly less painful because you're driving, you're waiting in traffic, you're sitting in offices, the secretary's there, either feeling sorry for you, maybe being frustrated by you. You're trying to grab the doctor. It's more time intensive. And the cold calling is just more effective and efficient. I've got a client that I'm working with, and I prefer to work with guys who already have businesses because I know that the more a guy has going for him, the more I can deliver value. We can make quick tweaks on his sales strategy that get him money right away if he has a business. Or the better looking he is, the more I can help him in the female department or whatever. That's not to say that I don't want to help everybody, but my coaching is a high ticket service, and the more somebody has going for them, the more I can help them. That's just the rule. The lower down a guy is doing in life, the harder it is to pull him up even to just average. And he's not going to have the money to pay for a service. So for those guys, I hope free videos and all the free stuff I do hit them. But my favorite guys to work with are entrepreneurs. Some of my clients are multimillionaires because I can do a lot with those guys. The next favorite is, in the future, I might only work with entrepreneurs. Right now, I'm still working with some guys who are building businesses, but they're sales guys. So they've been in sales. So I know that they're not going to tap out, hopefully. I know that they're not going to tap out on the outbound, which is why most guys never get off the ground, okay? Because they don't want to go start a Subway franchise, and take out a bunch of debt, which is smart. The product businesses are difficult, and so maybe they believe me when I say do the service business, but they don't have money for inbound, and they don't want to do the outbound, and they try and do the outbound, and it's like being thrown into the deep end, and they tap. So the vast majority of it's just psychological. Like even if you're not a great salesman, you just call enough people, you're going to be able to sell stuff. You're going to be able to sell any service. You can make 6 figures doing salsa dancing, if that's your passion. So my client, who's already a good sales guy, we've got him selling a B2B high ticket service for entrepreneurs. It's $2,000. It's delivered over, I think, 3 months. And 150 calls, he closed 2 deals. He just closed $4,000 worth of business in his first 3 days selling this deal. So, we went through a couple iterations of what he was looking to sell. We had him selling personal training on the footpath. That was painful. The training wasn't really his passion at this point. He didn't see a lifetime being able to do that. But we took his knowledge of being in sales and converted that into an offer, because that's by far his most marketable skill. It's still my most marketable skill. to give that to entrepreneurs. Despite all the other stuff that I have on the channel, being able to help other guys, other entrepreneurs make money is the most marketable skill I still have, and that comes from the the sales training and the knowledge, also all the stuff I've learned about marketing and business and stuff like that. So we converted that into an offer. It's something that he's got a passion for, something he can build a channel and an organic brand around, and most importantly, we got him some quick wins. Okay, when guys are working with me, if they don't already have a real estate license, I don't want to get them on board and they don't have a business, and it's like, okay, 6 months to get your real estate license, and once you do, you're gonna have to work on an apprenticeship, and then it's gonna be like a year to close a deal or whatever. Like, I would prefer, if a guy's gonna go the real estate route, I would prefer he came on board with coaching after he'd already done all that, and we can amplify that.